My gears is right. Check. My bucket is low. Check. My rocker with spinning bucket.
All right, man. Thanks for coming today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and thank you, all of you for being here too. I know you said if you ask any questions, it'll show up on one of these screens here, so I'll happily mix that in. But I get to ask the first question.
But wait, before we start,
Yeah.
because this is hip hop, right? Can everybody put their hands in the air? Everybody. And wave them side to side. And go, hey, ho, hey, ho. Okay, now it's a little energy. Yeah.
So how did you get from basically saying like, yeah, we're going to start promoting and building parties, go from there, to get in the mindset of like, I'm actually going to start a label? Because it seems really intimidating to just like some guy like me, you know?
Yeah, so what happened was Damon first, Damon Dash being a part of the Best Out, he kind of left that and and got into the music business first. So he managed a group called Future Sounds and then Original Flavor, and he had a group, that group signed to DJ Clark Kent at Atlantic Records. And because they didn't do right by him, he was able to go in and learn the business from every single department.
That's cool.
So, you know, he had to go to retail every day. He had to go to promotions every day. He had to go to legal. So he had a lot of knowledge at that time. And he presented the idea of putting something together with Jay-Z, him, and presented the idea to the Best Out. So that day, it was so many guys arguing and figuring out how we would do this. I was the only one that called him the next day and said, look, I really like what you were talking about. You know, let's figure something out because I want to be a part of that. You know, I see the vision and what you presented.
So, I mean, were you ever nervous about jumping into this thing, or like, you know, was it a huge risk for you, or how did that work?
I'm sure it was a huge risk, but at that time, I don't think you really think about risk as young adults. I mean, there was no business plans. There was all we had was Dame, the motivator, the visionary. We had Jay-Z, of course, you know, at that time, really just finding his stride and who we thought was going to be the best rapper or music artist of all time. So with that mix right there, and then what I brought to the table with the lifestyle and the marketing, I mean, I don't think we ever thought that we would lose. The only genius thing we did is we never quit. So there was several doors that was closed, and we just fought to kick doors down. We fought to kick doors down, and then when there was no door, we created our own. So we always knew that we would make our own opportunity and make our own way, and we was just so confident. And it was like iron sharpens iron, right? So it was so much that Jay knew because doors was closed for him early on. That's why he didn't want to rap anymore. He just kind of gave up. And when Clark Kent introduced Damon and Jay together, saying like, look, this guy is a manager and he can help bring your vision to life, that kind of sparked some interest for Jay again and made him want to start writing songs. Well, he doesn't write. Start thinking of songs again. And that mix was just the perfect trifecta that was able to shape what we built.
Yeah, I mean, a trifecta is a perfect way to put it, but I think also when you're talking about all these doors that you're opening for yourself or trying to push through, I mean, that's what's so cool. I mean, when they told me I was in an interview, I was stoked to be up on the stage with you because, like, you're a dude way up on this mountain of having pushed us through. What kind of advice can you give from, like, stuff that you learned on the way or mistakes that you guys made? Because I'm guessing that it wasn't only just perfect every single time.
No, it definitely wasn't perfect. You know, our first deal, after finally scraping our way through and figuring out that we would fund this business ourselves, and we had what we thought was a great distribution deal, which was supposed to be an 80-20 deal, 80% us, and we ended up having 80% of the distributor who had a deal with somebody else, and he only owned 10%. So we had, you know, so we thought we was making $3 to $4 million, and we didn't really make anything. But at the same time, we had so much notoriety because Reasonable Doubt became something that was like a cult classic. And there was so many people following us that the other labels decided to start to court us and then offer us bigger deals. So once that happened, it was down to Sony and Def Jam after meeting Russell and Lior. And because we gave them our word on a handshake, even though Sony offered more money, we thought we was doing the right thing by just honoring our word.
Mm-hmm. And now, how do you create like a new focus for what you want to do that still harkens back to your original DNA?
Well, I think right now it's all about nostalgia and people buying into a lifestyle and a movement and such. And because we created such a great brand, that's probably why Nike approached me. So, I had a Nike sneaker that came out last year with Virgil, Don C, Travis Scott, and acronym. And it was, the number one selling sneaker at that time. And we actually crashed Nike app twice and sold out worldwide in one day.
Yeah.
So I think people understand what we built. It's, it took a long time to get where we're at. And I think they just believe in what we did. So we planted that seed a long time ago that we're hoping that is an oak tree or growing into that one day.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because everything you talked about building before you said lifestyle company was everything that was true. And then you said, here it is, because it is a lifestyle, right? And I think it's something that's so honest, and that's what's so cool about everything you've done. It's also cool that you crashed the Nike app twice, because I haven't even done that once, just to be honest. So at this point, what do you want? It's a wild question, but I just want to know, what do you got? What do you want?
Well, what will be gratifying to me is, and friends ask that a lot. They say, Biggs, you're getting in all these businesses. Is it $1 billion? Is it $2 billion? If I could change 1 billion lives, I want to be able to open doors for people in this audience, people around in the neighborhoods that I grew up in, to say, I can do that. If I can do something that's innovative, if I can do something that's inspiring, if I can touch somebody's life in a way where it creates opportunity and there's a snowball effect that helps changes the world, I think that, to me, that's one of the best things that can happen for my legacy.
That's awesome. Well, I think you've done nothing but show the way. So it's cool. And thank you for joining us today. It's awesome to hear you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and thank all of you. So it's really cool. Yeah.